Okay, so love it or hate it. I'm hearing a lot of people say that they don't like the black, but I think it actually is a really nice design. I will go into why they've chosen black and all the other bits and pieces as we go. But what I want to do now is I want to show you a video that has been created by a lady called Kels in the UK. Now, she's created this video, and I believe that she's nailed it with all the points that we need to have a look at so far. So let's have a look at her video, and then we'll go on to honing in on the points that I've seen and what your work are telling us so far.
Hi, I'm Kels from my Thermomix Adventures, and I'm here with the TM7 in a little bit of a quieter setting. So we've got the black textured finish on the bowl here. We've got a little release for your blades.
For anyone that used to struggle with taking the TM6 bowl apart, this TM7 bowl is much, much easier. The outer part won't get food on it, so that doesn't really need to go in the dishwasher. Just give it a wipe off. The bowl just sits back on the base like that.
The screen is bigger than the TM6, and you can see the screen size difference there. Okay, so let's have a look at the base.
The lines around the outside look a bit like a hob and protect your base from the bowl. The inner bit is a lot like the TM6, but you might notice there are 6 circles and only 5 prongs on the bowl, making me think there's something coming in the future. Let's have a look at the screen.
We got a choice of different home screens. So I've selected I like tools handy. Oh, it's made a noise. Manual mode. It's telling me to put the bowl on. You can set your time and you can jump. Or you can scroll.
Here you set the temperature, with the maximum temperature being 120, just like on the TM6. You can go hotter, but you move into browning mode. The functions have images to help you choose what you want to do. The steaming mode's a new one. You select how long you want to steam for, but also whether you're steaming in the Varoma, the simmering basket, or both at the same time. We've got 3 new modes so far: browning, open cooking, and steaming. There'll be more added in the future, plus some of the existing modes have been improved.
You can change your volume. Oh, it's a bit more dancey. And you can change the duration of the finish. Oh, look at that. There we go. Large font, standard font, country and language.
The bowl locks in when it's working, just like on the TM6. This is currently going at speed 5. It's very, very quiet, but I can feel vibrations on the bowl. But once we turn down to speed 2, you'll notice the unlock sign above the picture of the bowl, and the lid is now unlocked. We can take the lid off while it's going, and it will then stop the instant we take the lid off.
Oh, that'll stop when you take off the lid.
It will stop.
Wow.
And now you can season it, you can taste it, whatever, and you put it on the lid
So you're
again,
not having to wait.
and it will continue then automatically.
Oh, wow.
Let's have a look at browning mode, which is one of the new modes on the TM7. It can go between 140 and 160 degrees. And you can choose between gentle or intense. And if you want to know what you'd use those for, up in the top right corner, it gives you the information and you can have a read about what to use each one for. Here you can see what the screen looks like. You've got the open cooking, which is new, the browning, and also the steaming. The rest of them are the same as the TM6, but you've got different visuals on them now. So this is egg boiler, which actually shows you what the eggs are going to look like at the end of it.
For now.
So that's modes. That's
Settings and everything.
my recipes.
This is
Search
the cookie
recipes.
search, yeah.
And then home.
And this is what you can modify according to your...
And will that say my name if that's what it says in Cookie Do?
Yes, if you want to.
Perfect.
And I think you can modify it here.
Right.
Yeah, you see here. You can edit the name.
What are we calling the measuring cup now? It doesn't measure anymore.
It's just a lid cap.
Lid cap, okay. The lid and lid cap have been redesigned. It makes an even better mayonnaise, and you'll have less icing sugar coming through the top when you're grinding sugar as well. But you can't now put food through the top while you're cooking.
The spatula's very different.
It looks more like a knife, and now it'll scrape the entire side of the bowl.
The whisker's got an extra bit on the side.
The TM7 whisk on the left compared to the TM6 on the right. The simmering baskets look very similar, but we've got this extra notch at the front of the TM7 simmering basket to lift the lid up. The Varoma is one of my favourite redesigns, and the rectangular shape makes it a lot more efficient. You can see how much bigger it is when you've got it alongside the TM6. It's also just a much more sensible shape for laying food out.
So the TM7 is wider. For those of you that like to travel with your Thermomix, this can obviously go in the overhead on an aeroplane, whereas some of you found the TM6 was a little bit big. Let's take a look at the screen a bit more close up.
So you want your one powder or something like that. Then it sprinkles out. Yes, and this is what this is for. You just
Tear. So tear will go to 0, and if I push on the bowl,
you can go like that.
right, so
You can scroll
see,
here,
and that's the eye to
and
show
you don't know where you are.
looking.
Actual step more. There you are.
Got it. I asked what the big differences were between the TM6 and TM7, and he told me the open cooking, the ability to cook pasta or things like meatballs with the lid off, and his favourite is the silent motor.
That one is removing the measuring cup, the simmering basket, and the spatula. It's only that one. Whatever you do, you always use the lid cap. Always, despite one single, exception when you're cooking aroma.
And is that how it's supposed to look when it's put on properly? So because this moves a little bit.
Exactly, that's moving. It's also that is reducing a little tolerance inside, and also taking care of that it's working in every single situation.
So when we're kneading, is it going to move less?
It might move a little bit, but that's fine, and that's intended actually.
So I'll just show you this base. So it's got the inbuilt slider, which is this foot at the back. You just lift it slightly and it will slide along like that. Okay, so that's a big improvement. Our little on button is down here. There we go, it's turning on.
That's all I've got to show you on the TM7 for now. I will be getting my own TM7 around April time, and I will be showing you recipes and lots more. Until then, happy Thermomixing. Do follow my YouTube and me on Instagram. I'm at my Thermomix Adventures. Thanks for watching. Bye.
That's all built in, so your sensor will still work. And so, you don't need Wi-Fi or Bluetooth for your blade cover peeler, but that will still work in this bowl. So your sensor is fine. So if you purchase one of those, you don't have to stress. The other thing is, when you purchase a Thermomix, you get 3 months free cookie dough. Now, I've got lots of customers that have bought a second Thermomix. And when you buy a second Thermomix, you still get 3 more months free. When you buy a TM7, and if you decide to keep your TM6, when you get the 7, you'll get 3 more months, and it will get tacked on to the end of your current subscription. So that's really awesome. The next thing is the bowl size will not change. So 2.2 liters for the bowl. And like I said, some accessories will still fit. Now, what I call accessories and what I call attachments are different. So when you get your Thermomix, your TM6, you get your base, you get your bowl and blade, you get your basket, Varoma, etc. These are all components of the TM6. So when people have said, oh, nothing will work in your TM7, that's not quite true. These parts will not work in your TM7 because there are new parts. But when we're talking about sensor and we're talking about our blade cover peeler, they will still work. Now, your cutter and spiralizer will not work And the reason why is because of the locking lid. And I'm going to go into that a little bit later. So what's new to the TM7? So of course we can't get away from that large screen. That is pretty awesome. I'm excited about that, especially with somebody that wears glasses. And I don't know whether you saw in Kel's video, she had an option there to have large and small text, which is, I think, is brilliant. We've got 20 functions still, and there's 3 new, which is browning. You've got browning in manual mode. So I know a lot of people were wanting their TM6 to actually be able to brown without a recipe, and now you can. So that's pretty cool. So we've got browning, we've got steaming, and we've got open lid cooking, which I can't wait to have a play with that, because that seems like it's going to be a huge bonus. You can cook up to 100 degrees with no knife rotation or without the lid. So that seems like a really good update to me. The motor has changed. It used to be a reluctance motor, and now it's a synchronous motor. Now, that probably doesn't mean much to you. It doesn't mean much to me. But what they're telling us is this motor is actually more efficient and a lot quieter. So that's a really good bonus. The Varoma is 6.8 litres now with the TM7, opposed to 3.3 litres with your TM6 and TM5. Now, I think that's really cool. And I know a lot of people don't use their Varoma. I use mine a lot. So hopefully over time, I can encourage you and inspire you to use your Varoma more. Let's talk about the dimensions. So the dimensions have changed slightly. The new Thermomix, new TM7, is slightly shorter than the height of the old TM5 and 6. The depth is slightly longer, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Usually, if you've got a Thermomix on your bench, you've got nothing behind it and nothing in front of it. So there's going to be plenty of room on your bench that way, depth-wise, to hold your Thermomix, even if you're in a caravan. The width is actually less. So that's pretty cool. So if you've got a small kitchen or you're in a caravan and you want more room on the sides of your Thermomix, you're going to have it now. So that's pretty good. And also, we'll go to the next slide. So yes, there's been a complete design change. And I know some people don't like the look of it, but I'm going to get out there and say that I think they've changed the design for the better, and I'm going to go through why I think that is. The next slide is it comes with an inbuilt glider board. So it has a little knob at the back. I think you saw Kel's video where she showed a little knob at the back so that you can actually tilt your Thermomix and drag it backwards and forwards on the bench rather than dragging it and mucking up your scales. So you won't have to buy a glider board now. It comes built in. That actually helps make the surface area where it's sitting on smaller as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's talk about why black. Okay, so I know a lot of you didn't like the idea of black, but they've chosen black for 2 main reasons. One, they did a survey, and apparently 50% of people said they actually preferred black. Now, the other reason, which I think is really awesome, is they wanted to use as many recycled materials in the non-food contact areas of the Thermomix as they possibly can. Now, when you use recycled materials, you can't really get white so white and nice. So they've chosen to use black. It makes sense. That's the reason why they're black. Now, look down the track, they might do a special, I don't know, they've done, the black Thermomix for the TM6. Maybe they'll do, and they've done the white glitter one. Maybe they'll do that in the future for this particular model. But I'm not really sure. And for me, it doesn't worry me. So I don't mind what color it is, although I'm glad it's black and not green or or red or something like that. Now the temperatures will stay the same. So 160 degrees is the maximum temperature. 120 degrees is the maximum at so 100 degrees Celsius max at open lid cooking. So that's really cool. So let's have a quick look at this. So I've actually taken this image and I've noticed that there are 9 points that I want to talk about with the new TM7. So let's have a look at them bit by bit. So first of all, the MC has changed. Now, so there's no longer an MC, so we don't really need a measuring cup anyway because this machine weighs it to 1 gram increments. So having the measuring cap doesn't really make much sense. If removing the measuring cap has also they've replaced it with something called a lid cap. Now, it's completely different design. So when you take the lid cap off, there are small holes, but you can't put food in through the hole in the lid, which isn't really a problem, I don't think, because we can now take the lid off and throw things in as we go. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think that could be a good thing. And the other thing is we won't need a splatter guard anymore. So that removes that extra piece of equipment that we've had to hang on to when we're doing high heat work. What else is there? The lid cap prevents food from flying out the MC hole. So the gentleman was saying in that video of Kels that the lid cap stays on all the time. The only time you ever take the lid cap off is when you are going to use your varoma. That sort of makes sense as well. You can actually put liquids through the lid still. So if you're making a mayonnaise or something like that, and you need to drizzle oil slowly through the hole in the lid, you'll still be able to do that. All right, next one. Number 2, the new lid assembly, removing the need for the locking arms. I'll be glad to see those go. How many times have you stood there waiting for them to unlock? So this is actually completely different now. So what they've done is they've created a new lid that auto locks. So as soon as the Thermomix registers that it's going over speed 2, it will automatically lock. Now, if your lid's not there, I'm guessing what it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, you haven't got your lid on and you need to put that on before you can turn the speed up. I think that's a cool idea. It's still super safe and it's automatic, so we won't have to sit and wait for arms to close and arms to open. It will just do it automatically as we're cooking. Okay, so the new handle. So the handle is now made out of brushed stainless steel, making it more ergonomic to lift up. So you can see that the shape of it, you'll be able to lift it lower down. So that actually makes it so that it's balanced a bit easier. Now, this bowl will be slightly heavier than the previous models because it's got that outside sleeve, if you like. The thing that's really cool though is because it's got the outside sleeve on it, you can actually touch the outside of the bowl and it won't burn you. So when you lift the jug up from the Thermomix base, you'll be able to use 2 hands. So one hand on the handle and the other hand on the actual outside. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is this little button here. And a lot of people, I don't know if you even know that that's there, but this is called an inspection cover. And there was a little button on here. Now, I've got 4 bowling blades for my TM6, and I have lost these several times. So what it is, it's a little button that sits over the top of a screw. So this screw is there so that you can undo the handle and it can be repaired or do anything with it. So they've had to put an inspection button over the top, but for some reason they just don't like to stay in there. It's probably because we put them in high heat in the dishwasher, etc. So they have removed the need for this, so you won't have to replace these anymore. All right, the new protective case. So black housing, making it easier and safer to handle. So this is really cool if you've got kids that use your Thermomix. You won't have to stress about them burning themselves on the outside of the stainless steel bowl. The housing is also insulated. So when, we have our thermo servers and it helps keep things hot and keep things cold. So this housing will actually help in that respect as well. So it makes it quieter as well. So if we're doing something like chopping chickpeas, of course, it's still going to be really loud, but having the housing there will make it quieter and insulated. So things that we make like dough, proving dough or fermenting will be more efficient because it will keep the heat in. So I can only see that this is a good advance. Kel was saying that, and I know a lot of people, a lot of my customers that have got limited hand strength or arthritis find it difficult to remove the blades, the base off their Thermomix bowl and the blades. So now there's a lever on the left-hand side here. Flicking that lever actually unlocks the blades and unlocks the bowl from the base or the housing assembly. So that makes it super easy to move in and out so that you can put it in the dishwasher or what have you. All right, and then there's that bigger screen. Now, we're not talking about this yet because I think this is the best advance yet. So let's skip that one and go to the selector dial. You'll notice that there is no selector dial anymore. I don't know if you've had issues with this in the past, but in our old TM5 and 6s, food can fall down the back of this selector dial and cause issues where you have to have your machine serviced. Now, with this gone, of course, that will prevent those issues. So people are saying, oh, what about how are you going to use the screen now? Because in my TM6, if my hands are wet, I can't use the screen. That's not going to be the case with this one because they're using the most current technology. The same with our smartphones. With our, say, iPhone or whatever smartphone you have, if you have wet hands and you've got a current model, you can still use the surface of your phone to move around. And they're doing exactly the same thing with the TM7. This screen has been updated and you won't have any problems with it. So that is pretty cool. Okay, so the power switch. Of course, now without the selector switch there, we need to be able to turn it on. So there is a single lever at the bottom of our TM7. All right, easy clean. So I know a lot of you have gone, I don't like the shape. It looks really weird. It looks like a garbage bin. But how many times have you had to clean out inside here? This is a pain to clean out. With this surface now, all you need to do is remove the bowl and you'll be able to use just a damp cloth to wipe over the top. How easy is that going to be? So no more, I use a little brush in here to clean this out. So much easier it's going to be. I can't wait for that one. I seem to be always cleaning those arms and cleaning the inside, this little spot in here. Now let's talk about the screen. Okay, so just like with the TM5 to the TM6 upgrade, there are some major changes with the display. Now, I know when I had my TM5, I never upgraded to a TM6 because I went, oh, so what? Bigger display, doesn't matter. We've gone black and white, now it's color, but there's so much more. So with the TM6, it's so much more intuitive, but when we get to our TM7, having this landscape view and such a larger screen, we're going to have so much more on one screen that we can actually use. So Here's just one shot of a recipe that's being made on the TM7. It has a list of ingredients down here, and you can see that there's a little tick box at the side of each of these ingredients. So when you're using this as a guided recipe, it will ask you to add all these things in. And of course, you can tear it like you have done in the past with your 5 and 6. But in between, you can tick these little boxes to say that you've added these parts. So you can go backwards and forwards if any order, if you like. So I really love this idea because I know that I've watched people in the cooking school that have missed something. So they've gone through with their TM6 and they've gone, add all these ingredients, and they might have missed brown sugar or they might have missed sunflower oil. But now you can actually tick them off as you go. So that's pretty cool, I think. Make it a little bit more foolproof. All right, now this, I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a blurry screen, but this one here is the front image of a recipe. So now we actually have on our screen the rating, we have the prep time, the total time, and how many pieces it makes. So each recipe will be different, of course. Then we can click on the ingredient list. We can click on preparation, tips, and more. And this is for this particular recipe. So having this real estate here for us to see everything at once is pretty cool. Down the side of the screen here, there are a few tabs. So there's the home screen. Now you saw Cal, she was saying that when you start your Thermomix in settings, you have the choice of 3 different home screens, if you like. So you can set your Thermomix up to the way you want it. So you can have cookie do on the front screen all the time. You can have your recipes on the front screen all the time, or you can have modes on the front screen all the time. So you choose when you turn your Thermomix on, which screen will be there for you to get up and running. So that's pretty cool. And then going home, of course, will take you to wherever you want to go. So the next one is search. That will be for cookie do. The next one down is My Recipes. So that will be the My Recipes screen. So it'll be created recipes, bookmarks, all those things that we had before, but they're all in one place so that you can find them. I'm guessing this is reverse speed, and this one will be the usual settings little icon. So you click on that, you can change the settings. What you get with your TM7. So it's the same as the other ones, a little bit different because you don't now have to have your splatter guard because the new lid is solving all those issues. So you get your base, you get your bowl with the insulated sleeve, you get your blade, your Thermomix basket, you get the lid, and you get your new Varoma, and there's the new whisk and the new spatula. So that's what comes with. And the new modes are steaming, browning, and open cooking. And this is a list of the differences between the TM6 and the TM7. And I'm just going to play this last little video. If you've got any questions, write them in the chat. And you can, and I will answer you straight after.
Craving fresh homemade meals but short on time? Want to create restaurant quality dishes you're proud to share? Meet the all-new TM7, your personal kitchen assistant that lets you share your love like never before. With its sleek new design, larger display, and open cooking mode, the TM7 takes cooking to the next level. Explore over 100,000 recipes on Cookie-Doo with step-by-step guidance for perfect results every time. Enjoy a customizable experience with a TM7 that's tailored to you. It adapts to your preferences and remembers your favorites. The precision scale weighs ingredients to the gram as you add them. Its versatile blade chops, mixes, and grinds with its full power. The classic manual mode lets you control time, temperature, speed, and blade rotation direction for endless possibilities. Prepare entire meals effortlessly with multi-level cooking. While its even quieter motor lets you cook without disturbing precious moments in a newly designed and space-optimized aroma thanks to the steaming mode. Enhance flavors with the new browning mode, perfect for caramelizing onions or searing meat. Experience seamless cooking with Bluetooth connectivity. For peace of mind with a new heat-insulated bowl. From delicious soups and everyday meals to delicate desserts, the TM7 helps you express your culinary love language. So, why wait? It's time for the all-new TM7. Thermomix like never before.
Okay, so there you go. So that is the end of my presentation. I'm going to stop recording now, and I'm going to jump on and ask you your questions. Also, I'll send you an email straight after this Zoom, and you'll be able to reply to that. So if you can't think of anything to ask right now and you think of something later, you can always email me. I'm always around 7 days a week. This is my job. So I'm here to help. Okay, thanks.